The second part of doing the tutorial is I wanted to do a tutorial on a paper foundation, and the paper foundation is called Bangles, and this is what it looks like. And in the back it already has all the grid marks. All you have to do is put this paper on your fabric and go ahead and sew on the dash lines. I love this paper because if you're doing a lot of half square triangles, you could do a lot of them in a short period of time, and you cut the paper out, and once you fold it out, it should be exactly the size that you need. Now, what I like about ruler work is you can use your scraps and make them into half square triangles. And with angles, you literally have to buy the paper foundation to the size that you want to do it with. So it's just going to be a quick, two quick tutorials on how to do half square triangles with a ruler and how to do half square triangles with angles. And so I hope you like this tutorial. Okay, now we're going to do the half square triangles with a paper foundation, and these are called thangles. You can also get these in a huge roll if you're doing a large quilt with a lot of half square triangles. And what it does, they have all the markings already placed for you. I hope you can see that. They have the solid lines are where you cut and the dash lines are where you sew. And what I do is I cut all the edges off. I also didn't know this. This is 2.5, but when you're done sewing it and trimming everything off, it ends up being a 3-inch square half square triangle. And so they add the seam allowances if they add the seam allowances. So I'm going to go ahead, and what you do is you have your, let me make sure I'm on the, you have your paper and you pin it on this end and on this end. There you go. And then you go to the sewing machine and sew it. So here we are with our paper foundation, and I'm going to go and sew a little bit. So they do say to lower your stitch length. And then you lift and pull your thread, and you adjust your needle right back on the dash marks. Be careful that you don't poke yourself with the needles. And we're going to go ahead and pull that off. And so this is your sewn paper foundation, and now we're going to go cut it. So here we are with our sewn paper foundation, and what we're going to do is take the pins out, and you need a straight ruler and your rotary cutter for this. And so you cut your edge of your fabric off, and you follow the paper as your cutting guide. And then you cut on the solid line. What you do is you fold your paper, press on it with your nail, and then start pulling the paper off. Press it with my nail. And if you do bring your stitch length down, the paper is pierced more, and so you end up having the paper come off easier. Now, what paper foundation does is they say you don't have to, like I did earlier on the steps, you don't have to create your grid lines, but you don't have to, after you iron and press, they say that you don't have to recut your square. It will be measured exactly the size that they say it will be. So I want this needs to be a 3-inch square. I get my ruler and I place it right on the same grid marks. And you don't have to trim anything off except your tail. So it saves you about 2 or 3 steps, and that's the beauty of it. So let me iron this and then we'll do a half square triangle block.